own version, they won't be able to succeed. And it can be seen by the empty temples taken away from the Orthodox Church throughout Ukraine. They can take away the walls, but they cannot take away the soul of the people. They do everything possible to impose on believers their own idea of holiday dates and how it shall be celebrated, if at all. But they will never get the results they need. They demonstrate their force. They do everything by force to deprive people of the freedom of conscience and statehood. We heard a lot that Ukraine is fighting for its sovereignty, and we need to help Ukraine with it in this week. Let us look at the facts. 35 years ago, on July 16, 1990, the Supreme Council of the USSR adopted the Declaration on State Sovereignty, according to which Ukraine, and I'm citing, solemnly declares its intention to become, in the future, a permanently neutral state that does not participate in military blocs, adheres to 3 non-nuclear principles: not to accept, not to produce, and not to acquire nuclear weapons. It also proclaimed the equality of citizens of the Republic, including on the basis of their language. These are the characteristic features of the sovereignty of Ukraine. Subsequently, reference to the declaration was included in the Act of Proclamation of Independence of Ukraine of 24 August 1991. These norms were also incorporated in the Constitution of Ukraine. I will remind you, it was adopted on 28 June 1996. However, none of the above mentioned have been respected by those who seized power after the military coup in February 2014. These people deprive Ukraine of its sovereignty by undermining the principles of this sovereignty, which was the foundation. The existence of Ukraine gives a refusal, with the assistance of the West, of the legal foundations of Ukraine's existence as an independent, peaceful state has become a purposeful course of neo-Nazi dictatorship that destroy all Russians and pose a security threat to Russia and all Europe. Therefore, the complete and irreversible eradication of all the causes that led to the emergence of the Ukrainian crisis remains the main requisite for achieving a final and fair settlement of the conflict. The sooner this is understood at the Bankova Street and by the Western countries, the sooner it will be resolved. The conference on reconstruction of Ukraine, 10-11 July, Rome celebrated the conference with the participation of 5,000 delegates from 70 countries and 40 international organizations. I would like to remind you the similar events was celebrated in 2017. It was conducted from 2017 to 2022 on the issues of reformation of Ukraine. And for the 4th year, the main attention is focused on military assistance to Kiev regime. That is not to restore Ukraine, but to destroy it. The discussion on this issue, the tone of the discussion of this topic was set by the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who clearly stated the need to invest in Ukraine superiority in the military technical sphere. She made it clear that the Readiness 2030 plan to allocate 800 billion euros can be spent on Ukraine as well. She proposed to use the underutilized capacities of its military enterprises to ensure the defense capabilities you would think of Ukraine, but not the defense capabilities of the European Union. And she actively advertised military orders to place military orders of the Ukraine, place them on the Ukrainian market for arms and military equipment, and by this increase the military capabilities of Europe, according to von der Leyen. This assistance to the regime of Zelensky will make it possible for NATO members to easily carry out the required regulations required by Washington to bring the defense expenditures to the level of 5% of the GDP. I think that if there were a hypocrisy competition, then this situation would win the competition and would take a special prize, because first they were saying that they needed to protect Ukraine, and then they stated that Ukraine is a fortress of some sort, and now they need to place military orders in Ukraine with the help of Ukrainians to get through Ukraine money to maintain, and not only to maintain but to